Hey everybody, byscreenside here today, bringing you a new apartment renovation for the city living world. This is a much bigger apartment than I did the last time. This is from the Uptown district, so this is a very large apartment. And I must tell you that, like, city living when I started to get the idea of like how it was going to work for builds in city living and like apartment renovations, I really thought that apartment renovations were going to be like a cakewalk because usually the build itself, like building the house when I do my builds, is the most difficult and time consuming part. Doing the interior, like furnishing and everything, is usually like more enjoyable and easier for me. I think it's probably more enjoyable because it's easier, because uh, but I gotta tell you, this doing this one totally proved me wrong on my thinking that it was going to be a cakewalk doing these, because the first one I did was just a studio apartment. It was quick. I mean, it maybe took me 20 minutes to half an hour to do because, I mean, it's essentially all one room. And that's the other apartment build that's already up on the channel. But what was difficult is this apartment, the lot size, or the quote unquote lot, was probably every bit, at least in length, as long as a normal lot that you would find in Willow Creek or New Crest or wherever in the world. So it's a very, very long. You have to work within a shape that's not determined by you as the builder, but like what's already preset out in the game. So finding the layout is hard because, usually in like, say, uh, a 20 or 30 like size lots, or any lot size, about like half of the lot is actually just going to be the yard or the garden or however you refer to it. Some people call it a yard, some people call it a garden. I think that's just sort of like a geographical thing in terms of how people refer to them. Uh, but when you have to do it all interior, like it's like every inch of the lot has to be figured out or decorated. Whereas, you I'm having trouble having trouble saying it, but I think you understand what I mean. Like when you just have the yard to consider, then there's not as, there's, you can leave some unused space. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you have the ability to leave some unused space, but in this I had to figure out how to fill up every inch of the lot because there's no exterior portion to this. This isn't a penthouse. This is an interior apartment. So, but I love the way it turned out. I had a lot of fun building it, but it took me every bit as long as it would to take me to build the house, or to build like a full house build. But either way, anyway, long story short, I really love the way this turned out. I would say that if I had a dream apartment in San Myshuno, this would be it. I really loved like the color scheme. I loved using the build and buy stuff that came with the City Living expansion pack. I love the content that came with this pack. So it was really fun building this. And as you can see, I did use the chef station from the Dine Out game pack because I like my Sims to be able to cook the experimental dishes. And if I'm not mistaken, you can't cook those on just a regular stove or by selecting the fridge. I could be wrong, but I've tried it several times and I could not find the option to cook an experimental meal unless I did it from one of these chef stations. So, and you can cook regular meals on them too. So I thought, I'm just going to use that instead because I find myself trying to find a way in a lot of my builds or if I download a build off the gallery, how to work that into the space. So I thought that the way I worked out the counters around it made it sort of look less like it shouldn't be there. Like it looks, because that looks like it belongs in an industrial kitchen or like a commercial kitchen. But I think with the configuration of the counters that I worked out around it, it looks natural enough. And I really love this, like, oh, these windows, the floor to ceiling windows, and the view out of this apartment is gorgeous because you can see off into like the hills or the mountains or whatever it's supposed to be. So you get some view of the city on one side, and then on the other side you kind of get a view of like the hills and nature out in the distance. So the views out of this apartment are absolutely awesome. And so I used some of the windows like in the interior and a couple of places just because I liked them so much. But what I wound up doing is making this into a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, and it has basically like all the city living amenities that you would want to have. Like we wind up with a karaoke slash like music room, a like there's an entrance, a great big kitchen, big living room with the bubble blower thing, so like your Sims can do like all the activities that came along with the city living pack in this. And there's some room to like switch out things if you want to like add in like some kids stuff. I did throw in some kids stuff, but this apartment could work for like all adult Sims, or it could work for a family. All the bedrooms have double beds, so four bedrooms with double beds, you can fit a whole household of Sims in here, no problem. If you want to do that. But I themed the room like a big master bedroom, and then sort of like maybe more teenager age type rooms. You'll see, you'll see when we get there. So, but yeah, figuring out the layout for this really was a challenge, and but ultimately I was really thrilled with the result. I really like this. It's cool. It's really cool. So yeah, this little bathroom, initially I was just going to make it a 2-piece bathroom, but then I decided later to make it add a shower in, because in the back there's just like an ensuite for the master bedroom. This room is, I actually shared this room just in itself. My cat is clawing on my hamper. Stop it. Sorry. So I saved this room as just a room on the gallery because I just thought it turned out really cool. I was inspired by the zebra rug. I decided that the sim maybe who lives in this room is like obsessed with like zebra print and like black and white. So I did everything in this room in like black and white with lime green accents. So the color schemes of all the rooms I think turned out really interesting and cool, and I would live in any one of these rooms. But the one that I would most like personally, I'll show you later. I'll point out later. Goodness, I'll point out later when we get to that. But this room was cool. I really thought that there's enough black and white content with the pack to work with a room that's black and white with an accent color. So I just chose the accent color of lime green because of the lanterns, and we just had some options in green. So I thought it turned out really cool. I love that divider mirror thing. That's super awesome. That little like sort of lime green and purple plant from the movie Hangout stuff pack. I thought about putting that planter on top of the dresser, but it looked dull, so I did wind up getting rid of it. Used a little wardrobe over here in the corner, and then all the bedrooms also, not all of them. I don't think I did it in the master bedroom, and then there's one other bedroom I didn't, but 2 of the bedrooms have like a TV and gaming console set up in them. So Like these are these are very well off Sims that have, uh, have the money to throw around, and every kid can have their own room. I guess I kind of pictured teens in these rooms really when I thought about what Sims might live in this house. So like I see maybe like a couple that have teenaged and maybe like one child sim. The room that has like a red and purple color scheme winds up with some more kids items in it, so I use those. And yeah, I gotta say there was like a very horrifying moment where this build almost didn't happen because, and it would have been like later on from this point, but my game froze and it really acted like it was gonna crash. And I'm not talking about like freezing, like lag. I mean, like the screen went white and it was like, it was scary because I thought, oh no, oh no. And I hadn't saved in a while. I probably hadn't saved in like an hour or so. And I was like, I'm going to lose so much work. It was awful, but somehow I managed to get it going again, and I saved immediately because I was like, I really don't want to lose this. It's like a lot of work and a really cool apartment, and I'm so glad somehow my game managed to recover. And this is the ensuite bathroom for the master bedroom that I'm building right now. And if I had this apartment, the view, if you like, as you're taking a bath, as your sim would be taking a bath, is so beautiful. I think that if I lived here, I would be shriveled like a prune all the time because I would just be like, I think I'm gonna go take a bath. Be like, you just took a bath. I'm like, yeah, get off my back. I'm gonna take another bath because it's so stunning. I can just imagine like every day I would just want to come home and just take a nice relaxing bath and enjoy the view of the hills um, outside my window. I don't know if they're intended to be hills or mountains. I don't think there's like snow caps or anything like that, so I guess it's maybe intended to be hills. Um, it's really funny actually how people interpret hills or mountains based on where they're from, because I come from uh, Appalachia in the United States, and it's a very hilly region. And it's so funny because I have an older cousin who is from Texas, and I always thought it was funny because like Texas is just a very, very flat state for the most part. I mean, on the west side of Texas, there is definitely mountains in Texas. Don't get me wrong, it's a giant state. But she is from a part of Texas that's very flat, and so she looks at what are just hills as being mountains. But mountains are like the real deal. Like if you are driving through the mountains, like your ears will pop like you're on an airplane. They're very like the altitude is very, very different. So it's just funny. That always tickled me to death that she'd be like, "Oh, look at these mountains," and I'd be like, "Oh dear, these are not mountains." Like um, yeah, she just didn't know. It just thought it was cute. But yeah, so I can't really tell if what they're meant to be out there, but it's lovely either way. I had a lot of still area, even with the four bedrooms mapped out, I still had a lot of area to figure out. So I thought these Sims, they're in the upper crust, they're living in Uptown district, they're gonna have all the amenities. So I thought I would build like a big fancy karaoke room with a piano in it, which you see. And I didn't want to make it completely separate from the living room. So I made a half wall, and then you'll see here in a moment. I didn't like necessarily just want it to be a half wall. So you'll see in a moment I use a room divider in a way that, I'm just gonna say it. I thought it was a really cool idea on my part. I'm just gonna give myself a little pat on the shoulder. Because, yeah, I think it looks cool. Yeah, so you can see here. First, I used the divider from the Dine Out game pack, but I do replace it later with one of the City Living ones, um, because it works better because I use some of the dividers elsewhere. So the hallway there, it's just like a long hallway with the entrances to the four bedrooms, and it's pretty plain, but it is a hallway. So I thought that the dividers would be nice between like the bubble blower section and the living room area. So it kind of, instead of building another wall there, I just sectioned that off with some of the dividers that are really cool little items, and I like using them with the game. And that like floor thing, like it's not really a rug. It's like a kind of thing, or it says chalk on the name of the item. So I thought it looks really cool, like with the white floor tiles beneath it, kind of makes it look like it's intended to be a rug or, a special floor pattern or something. I don't know. But I thought that looked very cool and interesting and different, and I liked the way that that turned out. Um, so I think there's some really unique things about this apartment, and I definitely intend to use this apartment for one of my Sims because, like I said, I would love to live in this apartment. It would be great. And I used that stack of canvases item. It does have an inspirational aura, so that'll help your Sims skill their singing skill more quickly and their piano skill more quickly or keyboard skill. So that's cool. The master bedroom, another room that I mean, I like the way all these bedrooms turned out, but I think that the master bedroom is a really cool, really awesome, spacious bedroom, and I used the swatches that we had to decide like what room colors everything was going to be. Um, I was giving a lot of thought while I was building to missing create a style from, previous iterations of The Sims. And I think not having create a style is like kind of both a good thing and a bad thing. Because hear me out. I know a lot of people really miss creative style, and I do too. There are lots of times that I'm building and I get frustrated because something I want to use is just not the right color or the right match, or I just, can't find a way to work it in. But then again, I think that kind of has made me as a builder have to improve. Like I have to work a little bit harder. So, you know, then if I can just, change the color just to make everything match and every single item is going to match, but I have to put much more thought into it. And, of course, it's not just me, it's every builder who builds in The Sims 4. You have to put so much more thought into it because you can't just make it match. You've got to find ways to make it work together. So I miss it on one hand, but on the other hand, I think it's, made me creatively stronger. So, that's an upside if you're one of those people that just really terribly misses it. There's the little silver lining for you. I did also build. I was having trouble figuring out like what to do with this space. I guess again, it all goes back to the fact that that's a very large, not technically a lot, but kind of a lot that I had to figure out a way to fill up. And I thought, in fancy apartments, at least, in like movies or whatever, usually like you'll walk from the elevator area into like sort of like an entry room. So I gave them a, just a room that just serves as, a little room for them to like take off their shoes or sit down and take off their shoes. And Yeah. So, and then I stuck a little desk area in the corner. So this room is the one that I was talking about earlier that would probably be the one that I would most want to live in because I put I left one wall basically empty because I put the wall mural item fit perfectly there. So if you download this into your game, then you can personalize that room with whatever wall mural you like. So that gives a bit of individuality, and I really like that, in terms of being able to make things more customizable. So, yeah, we may not have creative style, but we've got this really cool wall mural item now where your Sims can have a lot of different options on basically something that's almost wallpaper sized. And I thought, since that brick wall, I initially put the brick in because I wanted like a black and white wall element for the zebra room. But then I thought, well, it would make sense just to carry it all the way across the apartment. And most of the apartment has like a minimal black and white color scheme. Not the bedrooms, but the kitchen, it's mainly gray and white with the accent color of yellow. And then the living room area is mostly black and white with like some like sort of aqua-y and beigey accents. This room that I'm building here, I'm adding in a get together closet, and this is the room that is more, I imagine, for a child sim. So I did put a puppet show and one of the big stuffed animals. And one of the rooms I also did put the void critter machine, one of the other rooms. So there's some kids stuff scattered about here and there. So if you do want to use this for a family that has kids, there's kid stuff in it, and there is room for more. Um, you know, I put in an activity table, and this is also one of the rooms that I put a gaming console in. I was trying to find a piece of artwork that fit there well, but I don't care for those paintings that came for the base game that are like the jazz silhouettes. It's just that's not my personal aesthetic. I did put a gaming console in the living room too. That way your Sims can entertain guests on the console without having to go to a bedroom. But yeah, two of the bedrooms do have the consoles in them as well, and this is one of them. I did use the bookshelf that came with this pack in quite a few rooms. Actually, I used I think there are two bookshelves that came with this pack, and I used both of them in this build, and I used this one in a couple places. I just really like it. I don't know. I think it just really looks like something that would go into a bedroom, or like a kid's bedroom, and like you can, as I did in the zebra room, put like artwork behind the like open spaces to kind of customize and personalize it more. And I put a fishbowl in there, so your Sims are going to have to go catch a fish and stick it in there. So when you download this, or if you download this, you have two tasks: paint a mural, catch a fish. So download this and then go to work with that. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, of course, I had to save this as a room, because we don't have a way to save apartments the same way, which I kind of griped about in my last apartment renovation build. I was kind of disappointed with the fact that that wasn't figured out in a better way, but I didn't want to upload this as like 10 different rooms or however many different rooms, so I just decided to knock out one tile of wall for every room and just saved it all as one really big long room. So, of course, I will put the link to download this in the description below. So, if you do want this in your game, you can download it as a lot or upload it as a lot and drop it down, but you will have to rebuild some of the walls to do that. But yeah, I think it's worth it, and it's not that hard to rebuild one section of the wall. And of course, you have this video to reference back in case you need to see. I was having a little bit of trouble working out like exactly how I wanted to do the carpet here because I didn't want a fireplace sitting on carpet. I don't think that it would catch on fire because it's not a rug item. I'm fairly confident in that, but still, it doesn't make sense that there wouldn't be, that there would be carpet underneath a fireplace. So, but I think it all works out okay. I used just like some of the carpet as rug, and then you know, put the floor back. You'll see. Uh, I liked that cactus paintings. That's what made me decide what colors to use for the room overall. And this is a really nice master bedroom. I wouldn't mind having this master bedroom one bit, not one bit. So yeah. But overall so far, I've been really enjoying the city living pack. It's a good time. I think the worlds in some areas could be more detailed or like larger, but by and large, I just really like simming in San Myshuno. I like the ambiance of the city, and um, I see myself using this world a lot in the future. And I definitely see a lot more apartment renovations in the future. I did finally get around to building a penthouse, so that will be up later, probably this week or maybe next week. I'm not exactly sure when. But yeah, we're getting ready to come up on the screenshots here already. So yeah, this is like the overall shot of the whole bird's eye view of the apartments. This is the entryway room where you can kick off your shoes. The karaoke room, which you can see through to the living room. The bubble blower station area. This is the living room, a view of the living room. And the hallway going down so you can see the entrances to all the bedrooms. This is the zebra room, and I did put a giraffe in the corner because we don't have a zebra. And another view of the zebra room facing the other direction. This is the red bedroom, that's sort of like the kids' bedroom. You can see I think it'll be really cute when you get a fish in the fishbowl, and there's also like a skull collection shelf. This is my favorite room because this is the mural room, and I think that'd be really cool when you get a mural painted on that wall. It will look awesome. This is the master bedroom. I love that lotus lamp. And another view of the master bedroom here. This is the master bath, and then we're going to have a view. That lovely view. That's so awesome. I love that. This is the kitchen, one of the views of the kitchen here. And another view. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.